And all of this nonsense is happening in your mind, inside your brain, because you're asking why to a question or to a problem, trying to solve a problem that can't be solved. And when we're dealing with psychopaths, when we're dealing with deranged, mentally ill, sociopathic, obsessive compulsive, manipulative, controlling, drug addicted, did I say narcissistic? We're dealing with people like that, and you ask, why are they doing this to me? Why did they have to cheat? Why did they have to cheat with that person? Why did they have to cheat 5 times in the same day? Why did they have to lie about it after I caught them? Why did they have to promise never to do it again and then did it again? You're going to be here all day. We're back. My name is Kira, and this is Psychopath Exposure. Hope you guys are having an epic day. And if you're not, it's not too late to start. So why don't we start the show, okay? I'm going to read a comment that Miranda Clues left a little while ago, maybe a few weeks ago. Can't keep track of the time at this point. But she goes, "Hey, Kira, so for me, I found that asking why an evil person is evil is yet another attempt by my brain to intellectualize my feelings and solve a problem that is unsolvable. I ask why because I still subconsciously want to fix the situation. Once I realized that I don't need to know why, I just need to accept them for what they are, it opened up a new door for me. I still find myself asking why sometimes, but now I use that as my cue to redirect my focus back to myself and to really try to sit with the feelings I'm having instead of intellectualizing and problem solving externally, something that my brain has been wired to do since I was a kid." Excellent, Miranda. I think you get it. Absolutely. Guys, I say this all the time. Often we ask the wrong questions. When you ask why and you don't know why, which is why you ask why in the first place, if you don't get the information that you need, the brain is going to make something up. And if you're not careful, you are going to go down a rabbit hole of your own assumptions, trying to figure out why something is the way it is. Now, you can ask why once and get on the internet, get on the YouTube, type some words, get on the chat GPT and get fed lies right back. But you can do some research and it's going to point you, hopefully, in the right direction, or at least in some sort of direction. But when you're clueless and no matter what you ask, nothing makes sense, which is the case when you're dealing or when you're coming out of an entanglement with someone narcissistic or sociopathic and deranged like that. The more you ask why, the longer you stay in that state of confusion, and then your brain goes to work. And much like ChatGPT, where it's built on information that already exists and pieces and fragments of all sorts of shit, the brain works similar in a way where it collects all the data that it has and it tries to compile them and give you some sort of an answer based on movies you've watched, stories you've read, experiences of friends you've had, experiences that maybe you have had, and it just takes the best parts or the worst parts and scrambles them again, and comes up with some sort of narrative in your mind that you attach yourself to, and now you ruminate over that for hours. Sometimes it's good, and you're like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Sometimes it's horrific, and it pisses you off. Sometimes it's anxiety-inducing, and it just cripples you. Sometimes it just creates the state of impending doom. The fear is so powerful, and you can create a narrative of what you fear could possibly happen in the future. And while there's always a possibility, you also have to realize there are infinite possibilities. Infinite. So there can be all sorts of things that you think are going to happen that never happen, or never happen in the way you think they're going to happen. And all of this nonsense is happening in your mind, inside your brain, because you're asking why to a question or to a problem, trying to solve a problem that can't be solved. But when we're dealing with psychopaths, when we're dealing with deranged, mentally ill, sociopathic, obsessive compulsive, manipulative, controlling, drug addicted, did I say narcissistic? We're dealing with people like that, and you ask, why are they doing this to me? Why did they have to cheat? Why did they have to cheat with that person? Why did they have to cheat 5 times in the same day? Why did they have to lie about it after I caught them? Why did they have to promise never to do it again and then did it again? You're going to be here all day. Now, I'm not going to be here all day. I will end the video soon. But you will be here all day asking yourself that question, and you're never going to get the answer. But in actuality, if you've done your research already on this, if you're watching these videos, the answer is simple. Because they have an antisocial personality disorder. They fall under the spectrum of the cluster B. And if you read the symptoms, that's why they do it. And that's where your questions have to end. You can't keep asking why. I work with a lot of people in my coaching program, and some people are stuck in that why. And it's like, we got to get you out of why. We got to get you out of why. We got to get you into how or what can I do to move forward from this? How do I execute a plan, or how can I put together a plan, or what plan should I put together that's going to help me heal from this and move away from this unconscious obsession of asking why the narcissist does what they do? Because you're never going to get out of that. They do what they do because they are what they are. Now, we can talk about that if you want. We can read the science reports and research and listen to the experts and the studies. But none of that is going to help you heal. As a matter of fact, if you're like me, when I started learning about stuff like that, it messed up my head even more at that moment. Because you're like, oh, wow, that's what it is. Oh, my God, that. And you start reading more, and it starts to scare you even more when you realize you were basically sleeping with the devil. And you keep reading and you keep reading. It's like obsessing over these videos. You go down that rabbit hole on YouTube, and one leads to another, and one leads to another, and one leads to another. And you think you're solving the problem, and you think, that's what you got to do. And it's like, no, what you need to do is watch a few videos and then apply the lessons that you learn. Apply the lessons that you learn. And you come back to the videos, you're like, aha, I was doing that wrong. That's how you do it. Okay, got it. Let's go apply the lessons that we learned. It's like reading books. You can read as many books as you want to try to fucking sound smart. Oh yeah, I read 10 books a month, blah, 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 blah. I used to do that when I was younger. And I wouldn't retain any of the information. The moment I started reading less books and I started actually applying the lesson, especially at the end of the chapter, you know, those books that have action steps at the end of the chapter, nobody does them. If you freaking do them, you get results. I used to read a lot about neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. I learned how to rewire my brain from trauma. I learned how to rewire the trauma and the triggers. I learned how to rewire the triggers. Little did I know that knowledge was going to serve me 20 years later with a psychopath. Little did I know that was going to be part of the process that I needed to do for myself, for me, to be able to get up in the morning and to be able to reframe these horrific, intrusive thoughts that would just plague my mind throughout the course of the day, unwanted, and would trap me, and I'd get lost in them. If it wasn't for those things that I learned and I applied, I wouldn't be able to get out of that. Because they're just thoughts. You know? You become addicted to the thoughts because of the emotions that they create, see? It's the emotions that they create that become addictive. That's how people get addicted to drugs. That's how it makes them feel. That's how people get addicted to narcissists, because if you understand trauma bonds and the highs and the lows that come from the trauma bond, if you're not aware of what a trauma bond is, there's going to be a video in one of these corners. It could be any corner. Choose wisely. I have a video called the Trauma Bond Manifesto. Watch that so you understand why it's so addictive to be caught up in the ups and downs with a narcissistic predator, pretty much, that everybody around you can tell you, hey, that person's not good for you, run. And you are just so addicted. They've discarded you, they've cheated on you, they've left you to rot. And the idea that they might return to you gives you just a little drop of dopamine in your mind. And then one day they do, and it's like, oh, it's like all your pain and suffering goes away, and you're flooded with dopamine. And you start talking again, and you talk about what happened, but somehow you're being seduced, right? You're being seduced. And before you know it, you're knocking boots. Once again, you're flooded with serotonin, dopamine, and all good, feel-good chemicals in your brain. And before you know it, they're up to no good again. You're in the same game, you're in the same merry-go-round that you've ridden a bunch of times. You know how it's going to end. You start getting that crippling anxiety. You start getting that impending doom. Oh my God, are they back with her? Nah. Oh my God, I think they are. Nah, no way. They said they were done with them. That's what they said, Kira. Kira, pronounce it right, goddammit. That's what they said. But they did it again, didn't they? And now you're at the bottom of the trauma bond spectrum or cycle, and they're at the top again, like a puppet master manipulating you again. But the brain knows, hey, this is what happened the last 6 times. So I'm sure in a few days or in a few weeks or in a few months or maybe a few years, they're going to show up again. And then that just keeps you going and doesn't let you move on. And then they show up and it's like, oh, all my pain and suffering is gone again. And now you feel that you're on top. And you feel, no, this time we're going to do it my way. This time I'm going to check your phone all the time. And you're going to give me your password. And you're going to delete everybody off of Facebook and Instagram and MySpace. And yeah, you're not going to fuck with me again, mister. Oh boy, and it just happens again and again and again. And the sad part about it is that they treat us worse each and every time that you put in a quarter and you into the machine and you play the game again. It just gets worse and worse and worse. How do they do it? Because they have a personality disorder. And I say it retarded like this so that you can, find some sort of humor in the situation, because it's funny once you pull away and you can observe this chaos and not be involved in it, and you can see, oh, they're at it again. They're at it again, and they're always going to do it that way. I don't want any part in that anymore, but it's funny to see There it is, there it is. And you see it now in social media. Your feed puts shit, you know. I have all sorts of freaking TV shows and series and stuff like that. And it seems that narcissism is everywhere now. You see how people date and the games that they play. They legit will not respond to your text for 2 hours to make you think that they're busy, when what they really want to do is text you right away. What the other person really wants is for you to text them right away. But somehow if you do that, now the other person thinks, oh, what a desperate little needy little bitch. He must not have other options. And it's so sick. So what are you looking for? Are you looking for someone that's gonna be there, that it's gonna talk to you all the time? I mean, I just remember when I was younger, like when we didn't have these Black Mirror phones, it was great talking to my girlfriend all day on the, you know, and on the earbud, or when I got the Bluetooth. There was no games being played. It was real. You know, that relationship did not end because anything psychotic or narcissistic or whatever like that. The breakup wasn't like brutal, like what we went through with these parasitic creeps. I'm sure you guys at some point in your life went through a breakup that was really genuinely heartbroken, and you were able to talk to your partner and cry together and slowly distance yourself, and the parents were involved, and, you know, that's real love. And sometimes things just don't work, and you have to be an adult about it. But these toxic relationships that we're seeing with narcissists and users and abusers, they're so damaged. It's just damaged people dating other damaged people, thinking that, oh, wow, we have a connection in darkness. I remember I said that once, and I thought it was such a cool thing to say. And yeah, it was a cool thing to say, but you know what? It wasn't a cool thing to pursue. It wasn't a cool thing to pursue. Bit me in the ass. So, you know, you live, you learn. But if you don't learn, life is going to slap you in the face with another narcissist. And maybe, just maybe, a worse narcissist. A sociopath. Someone that beats you up. Someone that kidnaps your kids. Someone that burns your house down. Someone that's a fucking stalker and shit. Is that what you want? You got to learn. You got to learn that if you're attracting the same people over and over and over again, it's for a reason. It's not them, it's you. And I don't mean that in any condescending way. I point the finger right back at myself too. There's something about you that's attracting those people. And just because you attract those people does not mean you have to entertain them. That's another thing. Sometimes I see shit come my way and I was like, nope, I'm not biting. People are like, are you fucking crazy? I am not biting. I'm not doing it. You know? Look at this hair sticking up. What the fuck is going on there? Just not doing it. Eventually you learn to look at the trap and you see the bait in front of you and you're like, looks yummy, but I'm not gonna taste it. Taste not. Because you know it has a hook underneath. Come on, it has a freaking hook. It's like not wearing a condom and you're sleeping with someone you just met at a bar and you went home with them that very same night. What makes you think that that person is not doing that every night with randoms? What makes you think that you're not gonna get an STD? I mean, think, goddammit. Most people don't think until it's too late. And even then they don't think. They're like, oh, fuck it. I'll just drown myself in alcohol to forget what happened. Not gonna take accountability. And you end up making the same mistakes. And you know what? Some of these narcissists that you think are narcissists are just alcoholics or drug addicts. And that's the way they carry themselves. They're like, oh, fuck it. I'm just gonna get drunk. And you're like, yo, we got bills to pay. Like, you're not doing anything around here. I'm paying all the bills here. I'm letting you sleep in my house. This is my house. I gave you a car. That's my car and you wrecked it. And you're not owning up to it. Like, what the hell? Toxicity is everywhere. You have to make sure that your goals, your values line up, and changed behavior. That's the only thing that's a factor. If someone's actually going to make amends, it's changed behavior, right? That shows you, okay, they made a mistake and they learned from it, and now that's it. They'll never make that mistake again. And that's how I thought it always was. You make a mistake and you learn, and then you don't make that mistake again. But there are people that do the same thing over and over again, and life slaps them so hard, and then they do it again. It's like I just made a video on John Morant, and it's like, bozo, you just effed up. You almost effed up your entire career for flashing a gun on social media. You came out, you made your apologies, you spoke to the commissioner, you apologized, people gave you the benefit of the doubt. I think Powerade, his sponsor, gave him the benefit of the doubt. Nike gave him the benefit of the doubt. Now he goes and he just does it again. So now he's facing the real consequences. And you know what? As I said in the video, he's going to do it again. And these predators, these narcissists, these psychopaths, these scumbags, these sociopaths, these criminals, they do the same shit over and over and over again. And you guys think that they're going to change. Stop asking why they don't change. Stop asking why they keep doing the same shit. And start asking how or what can I do to get the hell out of Dodge and get as far away as possible from these people. I can help you with that in my private coaching program. I talk about it in all my videos. I don't just accept anyone into the program, but I would love to work with you if you're really going through a situation with a psychopath or a narcissist. Do not hesitate to reach out. I have a link below in the description so you can get more details on the program. If it wasn't for my mentor, I would have never, I can tell you this, I would have never figured this out on my own. I had a friend of mine that was in this shit for 4 years, was already divorced, was losing his mind for 4 years. It was annoying for me to hear. I had no idea because I hadn't gone through it. Once I got through it and I spoke about it, and he was like, that sounds like my ex-wife. What? And now we were able, help each other. So do not hesitate to reach out, because you can be in a situation right now and you think you're in control, and I can tell you if they're a psycho, they're a narcissist, narcissist is in control. They are in control and they always win. And the only way you're gonna win is not to play their game, because they change the rules as they go. I'm sure you know they goalpost, right? They goalpost and they goalpost and they goalpost, right? And it's never enough. And no matter what, the empty promises, those also get goalposted. Nah, you gotta cut these predators off. So I've got more information below in the description. Yeah, if you got value out of the video, like, share, subscribe, and come back. Keep coming back when you need it. Just be sure to take action on the lessons that you're learning so that you can improve your life. Let go of this fucking revenge. Let go of this rumination. Let go of this obsession with what they're doing, who they're dating. Leave those people behind. Focus on you. Get your shit together. Get your life together. There's plenty of life to be lived. Get to work and things will start improving. All right? That's all I got, but I hope you guys are having an awesome day. My name is Kira. This is Psychopath Exposure. I need to come up with a cooler ending. I'm working on it. See you guys. Be good.